it's Jessica with Fantabulosity, and today I am making a Hidden Veggie Alfredo Pizza. It is something, I love chicken Alfredo pizza, and when I can sneak in a veggie for my kids, but to be honest, for myself at times too, it's really super handy. So this recipe you can find in my cookbook, Slightly Homemade Dinners. And if you are the type that likes to make everything from scratch, you like to really spend a lot of time in the kitchen, then this recipe is not for you. However, if you're like me, who I enjoy cooking, but I don't really have a lot of time in the kitchen. Typically, I'm usually trying to make something quick after school, before bedtime. So I like to keep things slightly homemade, to where I buy pre-made things like this pizza crust from Target, jarred Alfredo sauce, and I'm still able to take things that are prepared, but actually make my own creation out of it still too. So the Slightly Homemade Dinners cookbook is full of recipes like that. And not only did I include a ton of recipes in it, but I paired a main dish with a side dish. So you're not asking yourself, okay, this is great. This is a great main dish idea, but what in the heck am I gonna serve with it? Side dishes have always been a problem for me, trying to think of what to serve with the main course. I can browse on Pinterest all day for main courses, but it's the going, what am I gonna serve with it? So I have conquered that problem in your house too by giving you a main dish recipe, a side dish recipe that matches well with it, and then an alternative or an additional side dish suggestion like canned green beans, frozen garlic toast, or something like that. So you don't have to think hardly at all. And with that, I'm a sweets girl and I love sweets. I love to bake, but I don't always get to bake, or I don't always have a lot of time to bake. So with each dinner idea and creation, I have also included a dessert idea. Now, they're as simple as Rice Krispie treats or store-bought frozen pie that you can just pop into the oven before you make dinner. So I really hope you can get your hands on that cookbook because it has been a labor of love. It's been fun, it's been a goal of mine, and I am so glad to see it finally out there and to be able to help you guys out conquer mealtime and dinner time at home. So I'm gonna start with my pizza crust. I just got this at Target and it's a pre-made crust. You can do thin, thick, whatever. And I just follow the directions on the back because some of them can be different. Some you have to bake ahead of time before you put on the toppings, but this kind, I don't have to do that. I can just unpackage it and put all my toppings on as I go. All right, so I have my cookie sheet here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull one crust out of the package. Now what's cool about this is that there's two. So if you have a pretty hungry family, you can do two, or you can save it for pizza tomorrow night or next week or whatever it is. All right, so there's my pizza crust. Now, I like to hide broccoli into this Alfredo. So I'm a huge fan of like pasta con broccoli or any kind of pasta Alfredo dish at an Italian restaurant. So I thought, why not carry it over to a pizza? But for my kids to eat it, big hunks of broccoli on a pizza doesn't really sound that appetizing. So I tend to chop it up pretty fine. Now, I actually don't have a mini food processor on hand with me at the moment, but if you do have one of those at home, it's super easy to just chuck this broccoli in there, turn it on, and make it real fine. But for me, my kids aren't eating it today, it's just me. So I am actually going to leave them chunkier because I like the crunch. I like the bigger flowerets on my pizza. I'm gonna head over and wash this really quick. Okay, so my broccoli is all washed. I'm gonna pick off a few stems here. Maybe 3 sound good to me. Perfect, save the rest for later. I'm gonna chop off the heads. You can save the stems if you want for something else or put those in it as well. I'm just gonna do the flowerets. So I have all my broccoli chopped and I'm ready for the sauce. Now, something I want to mention about the chicken that I'm gonna put on it. I actually made my chicken ahead of time. I made it last night in the Instant Pot. So you can do something like that. You can make a bunch of chicken breasts ahead of time in an Instant Pot, bake it, whatever you want to do, whatever is your preferred method, and easily pull it out and add it on top of a pizza like this. Or if you want to make it super easy and super slightly homemade, grab one of those rotisserie chickens at the grocery store and pick it off of there, and it's perfect for that. Now the next step is the sauce, and what I did is I grabbed the creamy basil Alfredo this time. I've used just the regular garlic Alfredo in the past, but it was just me eating it this time, so I am going to jazz it up a little bit with some herbs because I really, really like the flavor. Now something that you can do is combine the sauce and the chicken and the broccoli if you want into a bowl and then spread it all out, but I'm gonna make mine just like a pizza. I'm gonna put the sauce down and then sprinkle the additional toppings on that. Now this is also a great place to go ahead and preheat your oven, so I'm gonna go preheat mine to 425. And so my next step is to have a cocktail. It's not really a cocktail. It's not alcoholic, but it's pretty. All right, so the next step, I'm gonna just pour this right on. Now, it won't take a full jar for just one pizza, unless you want it super saucy, but I don't. I'm more of a carbs girl. I like carbs a lot, so I really like to taste the carbs instead of drowning them with sauce. So for just this one pizza, I would say I use maybe a half a cup of sauce, and then again, it's to your preference. All right, so this next step, I would say the way I'm gonna do it, you really can't go wrong with making a pizza like this because everything's pretty much cooked. Not cooked, but it's not gonna really matter how you put it on. But I'm gonna put the cheese on next. And this is just mozzarella cheese. You can get fancy and switch up the kind of cheese that you want. Maybe some provolone cheese or Provel cheese would be amazing on this. And then I think next I'll add the chicken. And last night I shredded my chicken with just a fork when it was still warm. So it made it super easy. This is looking so good already. Here's the part where the broccoli and the veggies are not that hidden. So as I was saying earlier, you can mix all your sauce and your chicken together. And the really fine broccoli, if you're using a food processor, you can mix in with your sauce so you can kind of sneak it into your kids. But I'm not really trying to trick myself with this one. I want the broccoli on top. And what's kind of cool about this is I'm hoping by sprinkling it on the top that it'll kind of get that charred taste a little bit in the oven. I love roasted broccoli. And now, since again, I'm cooking just for me, I'm going to put some fresh basil on it. Not that it needs any more basil, I'm sure, but I really like basil. You know what, I'm gonna wash through this really quick. You know, because sometimes they say pre-wash, but sometimes I still wonder. I got some extra broccoli, let's throw this on. Why not, it's just me. And I'm just gonna layer on my basil. That's a big piece of basil, I think I'll trim that one down. And now, because I really like cheese, I'm gonna get a little creative and cover some of that with some more cheese. Why not? That's what I love about cooking. You don't necessarily have to follow a recipe on some things like pizza. You can kind of just do it how you want. Okay, and then when the oven's preheated, I just slip this in for about 12 to 15 minutes or so, whatever the crust directions are, and then it'll be ready to eat. All right, y'all, the pizza is done. It just beeped, so I'm ready to pull it out and give it a slice. Oh, heavens. This looks amazing. Oh, I cannot wait. Okay, so in all reality, I should wait till it cools off a little bit, but I don't want to. I am at least gonna cut a piece off for me to have right now. All right, now, no pizza is complete without Parmesan cheese, yes? Now, to keep the pizza from cooking more on this hot pan, I'm gonna shove it onto this beautiful little thing. It looks so good, it smells delightful, and I'm ready to dig in. I mean, first of all, how can you go wrong with pizza crust, carbs, Alfredo sauce, chicken, mozzarella cheese, and broccoli and basil? So good. Yay! All right, guys, don't forget to pick up your copy of the Slightly Homemade Dinners cookbook that has a ton of recipes in it, just like this one. That's super easy, yet full of tons of flavor. All right, guys, I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Bye.